Hi, welcome to Three Dudes in a Movie with your hosts Jacob, Marty, and Ryan. Here we watch and review a variety of movies. Also, find us on Instagram at Three Dudes in a Movie. Thank you for listening and enjoy this week's episode.
He did it.
Bro, my abs hurt.
Oh, I gotta move this.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome to Three Dudes in a Movie.
My favorite part is when that guy gets up in the tree and the bear is just mauling him. What?
Wrong movie.
No, what movie?
We're not there yet.
One. Oh, spoiler.
Spoilers.
Also,
We're
When
gonna
we get to that
record-
one, you're gonna have to convince me it was worth going to see.
We'll try our
I
best.
don't think that I will.
Yeah, I don't know if my goal is
Right
gonna be
now,
trying
Ryan, I gotta
you, but-
convince you that It's a Wonderful Life is worth going to see in the living room for free.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh wow, we did it. Why are we here?
Yeah, we watched It's a Wonderful Life. This was, what number was this on our top IMDb top 100? That was
24.
24.
Kobe.
Yeah.
That's why it was picked. It was picked
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Kobe. Rest in peace to a great man. I
starring James Stewart, Tony Reed, Lionel Barrymore, related to Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, Drew Barrymore's grandfather.
Is that true? I have no idea. I
Yeah,
was just saying
Mr.
it.
Potter
Oh,
was
wow.
is Drew Barrymore's grandfather.
Anyway,
We should say our names because we do that sometimes.
wait, but didn't we just do that in the intro?
Yeah, but I did it for all of us.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm Jacob.
I'm Marty.
I'm Ryan.
I just, in case this is someone's first episode, we should put names to voices.
Oh, he was the granduncle of Drew Barrymore.
Whoa!
And he was raised Roman Catholic.
Whoa!
And he attended the Episcopal Academy in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Dude, go Birds! Am I right?
Heh.
Anyway, where should we start?
An angel is sent from heaven to help a desperately frustrated businessman by showing him what life would have been like if he had never existed. Let's start with the theology of this movie.
Dude, absolutely. I'm in.
I don't really understand it.
It's
This movie,
Well, it's-
I felt like, if I'm being honest, it was a good movie. But if I'm being honest, I could have done without the whole angel part, any of that.
well,
I just
that's
didn't
what
feel like
makes
it was.
That's what makes it all full circle.
It doesn't, though. It doesn't have to.
You could have done away with the angel part in the beginning.
coulda
and
just-
had the angel.
You could have
show
just
up.
had a narrator just literally go, and this is what it'd been like if he never existed, and then it just pop flashback. I don't need an angel being like, I need my wings,
Oh,
spooky.
Yeah, let me be super vague about all of this, but
You could have done it more in the vein of that other movie that I'm blanking on right now.
hey, if you remember,
The one with
please,
Scrooge.
just tell us.
Yeah,
Christmas Carol?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
where
Okay, yeah.
ghosts
It could have
show
been
up.
done more in that vein where the angel just shows up. Or the being shows up. I've
So-
actually never seen Christmas Carol.
Oh, dude, it's
so-
my favorite.
But I've seen all the
The
I've
being.
seen knockoffs,
The-
not the actual.
the guy who talks to Scrooge, that guy shows up.
There's a couple
The
of them.
time traveler that shows up.
we should do a Christmas Carol this Christmas.
Yeah, we should.
But the version I want to do, all 12 of them. So Ryan, are you saying get rid of the angel in general, or the stuff at the beginning?
You could do away with the stuff at the beginning
Okay.
if you wanted to make it more biblically accurate.
I don't
Yeah,
think
what
they're
is-
too afraid of that.
Well, what are the three angels?
Joseph, Michael, and Mary, I think.
Oh,
I
But they
think-
were like-
Angel Joseph,
they were
Senior Angel
planets in
Franklin,
universes.
and then Clarence, right?
Oh, sorry. I thought. Well, isn't there three at the beginning that he's talking to? I think one of them's Mary.
Joseph. Oh no, Joseph is the narrator, and then Clarence is the one that needs his wings.
Yeah, because Joseph is the one who's always telling Clarence to listen.
And then Franklin.
Oh, sorry, Mary. I thought it was you.
I
I was about to be like, this movie is Catholic.
felt like it was just weird.
I love
What
it.
a
dude.
weird movie.
Oh, absolutely.
it's a weird movie.
incredibly unique.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm a fan of the angel stuff. I have a quote from it as my phone background. It's the very last quote of the movie.
Oh
So,
yes.
but yeah, I love it. It's one of my favorite movies of all. Did that go black on you while I was showing you? Okay, sorry.
One of the interesting things with it is if you think about the time it came out, it was what
46 or something like that.
Mhm.
the American dream at that point was probably full swing.
And he
And
was living the American dream.
He was living the American dream, but didn't want to.
Yeah, he didn't want it at all, man. Oh, he wanted to. Good old George wanted to explore, see the world, build things. There's another movie where someone's big dream is to build things. Oh, it was Your Name. He was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I don't know, I just want to be an architect.
Yeah, that is an interesting. The story is interesting in that he has to take his his dad's business with his uncle, and that's what keeps him from going and pursuing his dreams. And
Yeah.
then it's like everything's working out, and then the bottom falls out like an economic crash, and then he has to deal with it. Yeah, it's an interesting concept. It's a way of it gets really intense really, really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Like at first you're like, oh, everything's going well. This is great. There's a little bit of tension, but it's all good. Like he needs to work out on his soft people skills with his girlfriend / wife.
With his wife. What is he? What is they've rubbed faces. They also kiss, so it's not like they don't kiss.
Yeah.
But he just will put his
Face.
cheek into her face. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, George. Maybe that was a 40s thing, but
I'm sure it was.
you're right. Like some of the moments where he's like talking to her, it's like, you're talking to a person, right? Your wife? Yeah.
It's very emotive.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite funny
We watched this in black and white.
because that's the way to watch it.
Yeah.
Just kidding. If you watch it in color, I don't care. Just remember they did it with colored pencils and it's not real.
Oh, that sounds really cool. I actually want to watch that.
It's
It'd be
good.
kinda
I've seen
interesting.
it plenty of times.
It'd be interesting to watch both of them at the same time, right next to each other.
Yeah,
That
see
would
what
hurt
they
my
look like.
head, but I'm down.
Like pull a 3D, but one's in black and white, one's in color.
Just put them over each other. I think the color would just win out because that's technically all they did for color back then. It was just color.
Yeah.
That cracks me up. They literally it was like, all right, guys, it's coloring book time. And they just colored the film.
I'm just looking up some trivia. For the scene that required Donna Reed to throw a rock through the window of the Granville house, director Frank Capra hired a marksman to shoot it out on cue. To everyone's amazement, Reed broke the window by herself. She had played baseball in high school, had a strong throwing arm.
All right,
There you go.
dude.
Because when that happens, like, well, did you really just like zing it in there?
So
Like,
she actually did.
She actually did.
Do you think?
So that means the reaction may have been real.
Yeah, I bet it was.
Whoa.
That was first take, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Dude, I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
To keep on the theology train though, there is.
I don't know if it's necessarily theology because there's no God in it, but
That's-
it's definitely
that's
a
fair.
spiritual.
That's
yeah,
fair.
So supernatural.
But I did want to talk about some biblical themes in it.
Okay.
Just stuff that because the idea of friendship is something that's incredibly important to me, and it's a way God has moved in my life a lot. And so like that idea of putting down your hopes and dreams for the betterment of those around you. Not everyone's called to that.
Yeah.
Entirely, but we see people in Scripture who are called to that. I mean, you even argue the disciples. They were everything they had ever known. They were called to lay down and follow Jesus. And while George isn't following Jesus, he is laying down all of his hopes and dreams to pursue the betterment of this town, just so Potter doesn't take over.
Yeah.
But here's a major difference, but also something I really wanted to talk about. This guy, he takes it in stride, and up until the boiling point at the end of the movie where he wants to take his life, he does take it in stride. He's frustrated, but he gets pretty betrayed quite a few times by people in his life.
Yeah.
Like his brother.
Yep.
Goes away. He's like, hey, you're supposed to go to college for 4 years to get trained how to do this.
Right.
Like, comes back married.
Yeah.
And is like, well, no, I'm not.
He's about to get hired by his father-in-law.
Yeah. And there's stuff like that. Obviously, Uncle Billy is a drunk and a fool.
Yeah.
Although he wasn't drunk when he lost the money.
Yeah.
Complete buffoonery is what leads to him wanting to take his own life.
Right.
So just it's a lot of that. His dad even at the beginning trying to persuade him to like, you sure you want to go to college? You don't just want to take over right now.
Yeah.
He's like, no. So
well, it is fun because he's not. What is his? He's deaf out of one ear.
Yep. Saved his brother's life
Yeah.
when they were kids and had an infection and lost hearing in that ear.
Yeah, it's interesting. You have moments of for him, it's like moments of extraordinary, just wild things that happen.
Yeah.
And then but it's actually all the in between stuff that is really just grinds you down.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you have all these opportunities, but then, like you said, like you get betrayed left and right, and it is an interesting movie on like the small town, just ordinary life because it's a wonderful life, but then it's like there's some really traumatic stuff that happens in this ordinary life.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It is. But he takes most of it in stride. He does so much for people.
Because
It's
that's and I think that's also like a generational thing, like because that's what you did.
yes,
You know, like
that's true.
it's that kind of the American dream, the American spirit of just being like you just do it. You know, as a husband, as a father, even though you
As an
yell at
older
your
brother.
kids, as an
the
older
oldest
brother,
yeah.
yeah, like that's just what you did. You know, you took care of the family, and even though they didn't always take care of you, you just did it. Right.
That's true. It's a very unique twist on the American dream.
Here's the question: is it his heart was in the right place, but his mind wasn't, or his mind was in the right place and his heart wasn't?
That's a good question.
It's great. I'm gonna go with mind because his mind was in the right place. He had the wherewithal to accomplish these things, and ultimately he had just honestly the wisdom. And you could say this is a heart thing, but since he's not from the aspect of a Christian, I think it's mind over heart. He had the wisdom to know, if I do this, it'll be done in a way that's correct, and that's with a lot of things, but especially the business. Like he didn't want to get married. He's like, I don't want to be tied down, but he's like, well, be a little smarter if I do.
I see it from the opposite.
Okay.
Because I think that he does the right thing because he believes in it, even though he finds himself kind of in over his head on some things. It's like, well, you didn't really think that through, did you?
Well, that's super valid. And I mean, he certainly doesn't think.
That's a good question, though.
The marriage goes from they're not even dating, they have their first kiss, and then it just cuts to when they get married.
Yeah.
And we don't know how long that is, but that's interesting because I see it the other way.
Yeah.
Because I don't think his heart's ever in it because he doesn't want it, and he doesn't like truly arrive at a place where he desires it until he gets to the end scene where he sees how loved he is.
See, I would say he was in it. He was in it. His heart was in it. But then he was like, "There's literally no other way out of this."
Well,
to the point that I'm willing to take my own life.
That's
I don't know.
That's a hard issue. That's for sure. But
that is.
Ryan, do you have an opinion?
No, I just thought
Ryan's just
was
asking the questions over here.
Well,
he's got 3 more. He's got note cards.
You got a couple of questions? Okay. Yeah, that's a good thought, and I think obviously some validity to both. I think when characters are fictional, it's a lot easier for there to be more parody. Is that the right word? Does parody and disparity mean the same thing?
It's the opposite.
It should be the opposite, but I feel like it's not.
Well, it's parody means. I think parity means that it's equal.
Yeah.
Disparity means it's like why you see this disparity. It's like it's this gap.
Okay. I guess I had a misinterpretation of the word parody.
Let me look.
Not to be confused with parody, which is comedy, funny.
Yeah. So parody is the being equal, and then let's see here. Not that we need to know this. Not that anybody's paying for this.
But I brought it up.
And then disparity is there's.
It's unequal.
Parody means it's funny, okay? And then disparity means it's a documentary. Yeah, that's what that means.
That's funny. That's parody. That's funny right there. Yeah. Poor George. But like I've always this movie was super important to me in college when I was like first fielding my call to ministry and going through a season which was my junior year of college of like just total like a softening of the heart, total transformation of me. And like I saw this movie and it's like, I mean, I've never been asked to stay in my small town and do the family business.
Right.
Because I don't live there and there is no family business. There did used to be. But by the time I went to college, Mama retired from it.
I also think that it would be an interesting thing to say. I think not that they do this, but something to consider is that they show him where he would be if he did end up going to Europe in the 40s. Yeah, man, you're going to be in Greece. Yeah.
They would have to make it look pretty rough.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, I think that's also worth considering where he goes, like, I never got to pursue my dream, never got to da-da-da-da. And then, what's Claire's going to be like, yeah, man, there was a war. There's a world war going on right now. And you would probably be in the middle of that.
Yeah.
So why don't you just stay home?
Like your ear meant you can't go. And you're helping so many people here. Like they said, like, what was it? Like copper and rubber drives and stuff. Like being able to be the front man for that obviously is huge.
And I think that says a lot. Like that there's not, maybe for us, not World War II moments, but there are big moments for us in our lives that like culturally like captures the social zeitgeist, and you're somehow find yourself in the middle of it where it's like, well, I'm not doing this because of that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what COVID probably shut
Great
down a lot of
example.
people's
Yes.
plans.
Oh, a lot of dreams died.
Yeah. Yeah. But then like, if you're a believer and you believe like, okay, God has a reason,
Mhm.
then you could see, well, this was so much. In hindsight, you can trust that
Yes.
this was so much better than what you
you
wanted.
thought you wanted. Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's the way it's almost always phrased is, man, I'm glad I didn't get what I thought I wanted.
Mhm.
Like, I heard someone put it at a conference I went to. Well, it was yesterday. I'll just say this week, but I guess I said both. Sorry, that was dumb. But a conference I went to yesterday, someone put it. It's like, it's your life's curriculum.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just taking it in one chapter at a time.
Yeah,
Like,
honestly.
and so yeah, this movie taught me a lot about what the call of Christ is.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, are you willing? God will not always ask you to put aside your hopes and dreams, because oftentimes they are God appointed and it's a plan that He has for you. But sometimes your hopes and dreams are of the flesh, are not His plan for you, and so sometimes you got to be called to put them down. And we're not talking about like sin. We're talking about like wanting to travel the world and build a better civilization. Like George did.
Well, let's not also forget he was pretty privileged. He was given things
certainly
that he didn't necessarily, or at least the movie does not show him earning.
That's true.
I
mean, no, he does, but
yeah. I mean, he has a willingness to help others, but I mean, as far as, and that's where but it doesn't necessarily mean that things for the most part turn out okay for you, right?
Yeah,
it's not going to be the end of the world unless you choose it to be.
Yes, which he almost did.
Yeah, well, yeah. But and I know we've talked about this personally, but it's like the difference between like I want to do all these things and kind of seeing your dreams maybe this is like some of his dreams and some of the things that he wanted so terribly were more self-centered than he maybe would have like recognized.
Certainly. Well, I would say they entirely self-centered.
Yeah.
I want to do what I want to do. He says that like at least twice.
Right. And it is like I want to learn how to make things and it comes from it comes from a good place, but then ultimately it's a selfish motivation whenever it's like, no, the town needs you here now to help others, especially like comparing to Mr. Potter.
To Pottersville, which we get to see.
Like that, that to me is one of those where it's like you couldn't have a more tangible, hey, this is what life is without you.
Yeah.
And it's not great.
Yeah.
It is also, it's ironic because it's also a reflection of just selfishness. Like it's bars and showgirls and all this stuff just everywhere. And you're like, oh, this is it glorifies it glorifies gratifying, I guess. Yes. Gratification.
I mean,
of the flesh. But
whether you want to call it greed, pride, gluttony, whatever you want to call it.
Right. It's embracing all of that and propagating it.
You know what's so funny? We're leaving for, and this is, a lot of this is because we just watched it, but we're leaving for a mission trip this Sunday. And so Sunday night, we're going to arrive and do a little Devo before bed. And I'm leading the Devo. And we're talking about different kinds of love, just trying to tackle like community love, brotherly love, unconditional love, those kind of things throughout the week. And I'm highlighting friendships. And this movie obviously on my mind a lot because we just watched it. And like I'm talking about a lot of that.
Yeah.
this Sunday. And I'm not afraid to say that because this will drop on Monday.
Yeah. So go watch or go listen to this and then we'll talk about it.
Absolutely. So that's just kind of, it's the way it times out is pretty funny. So we have to do this before Cocaine Bear now because if we don't, people can get it spoiled.
How we transition into that. Now, I also think it's an interesting lesson in disappointment.
Absolutely.
I mean, he does have that disappointment. It doesn't. I think one thing that this is kind of a critique, but also it's not. The movies just they didn't do this back then. But I do think I would have enjoyed a little bit more of an inner monologue as to what's going through his head, instead of the random outburst. You go, he
Sure.
did not like that.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
I think that just in terms of how you deal with
You
this.
mean like a monologue, like an airplane? Where Jim never has a second cup of coffee at home.
Jim never pukes at home. Yeah, I do think that it's such a good movie. We will not be watching
Incredible.
it.
No, we can't. We can't.
But I do think that it's like an interesting thing to like the expectation versus reality, and how do you deal with that?
Yeah.
And also just the way that you deal with that sets an example for others. Because there are moments that he has random fits of anger with people that he loves, but then also he celebrates those people, and I
True.
think that's really cool. Is like he takes it, like he wants to, whenever they close up shop, they close up the business for the day, and they're not bankrupt, and he's like celebrating
got
the $1,
$2,
the $2 that they're like, well, what was this gonna get us? Like, let's just gather up and party,
Yeah.
and he has that spirit about him where, how are you going to deal with the disappointment that this is probably the worst day in the history of this business?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, but we didn't go under. So
and his life. Like,
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
y'all were about. You had to cancel your honeymoon.
He did well
Because
sort of. Yeah, I mean, he showed up late.
Well, they were gonna go
Yeah,
somewhere for their
right,
honeymoon.
right.
Yeah, they had to cancel.
Yeah.
that.
Does he ever leave the town?
Dude.
Because
I don't.
the
think
way
so.
the movie makes it, I don't think he has ever
even
left
set
that
foot
town.
out of town, dude. It feels like not.
This article says he doesn't. But
Certainly
they
not
also
the
could
movie.
be talking metaphorically, like he never got to leave Bedford Falls.
I'm gonna, in my head canon, I'm gonna give it to him. He got to take a vacation with the family after the movie.
Yeah.
They got to go to
During
they get
and
to go
before,
to New
I
York
don't
and
think
see
he would.
Sam. Hee-haw.
Maybe I watch it from the other way, where I think, man, Bedford Falls sounds pretty great right now. There's too much going on.
It's
I
kind of
was
like what we
relaxed.
were talking about yesterday. It's like
Yeah.
you ever want to just
quit your job
and move and
yeah.
go be a part of a small town and do
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
It's like Bedford Falls would be
Save
perfect
up
for
money
that.
from the cost of living here and just be like, all right, here we go.
Can I go be? I forget which one Bert and Ernie was. Which one was the cab driver? What it was Bert or Ernie.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Bert is the cop because at the end he goes, "Do you know me, Bert?" It's so funny. That's where the names Bert and Ernie come from.
Out of the three of us, though, Jacob, you're probably the most likely to be able to actually go do something like that.
Why
You
is
could
that?
pastor a small church in a
Oh,
small
that's
town.
well. I guess.
I was like,
I
"You're the
don't
one
know.
who's most likely to give up on their career
No,
path."
sorry, but I mean, like, that
Thanks,
would be your
Ryan.
career path.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I just like that interpretation.
yeah.
better.
It's like
Ryan's like, Jacob, you're probably about to tap out first.
with my
And he'd be
industry,
right.
I would not like if I
That's
lived in a
true.
small town. I would
You
maybe
can't-
have my
you
residency
can't,
there
yeah.
and live there like 3 days a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and me pursuing college ministry. They're not colleges.
Colleges are in slightly larger towns.
Yes. Go find the community college.
I don't. I think if I went, well, I don't know. If I went to a small town, I don't know that I would be. I couldn't do that. I'd be like, y'all too much.
Be the
your
pastor
whole
of a small
is your
town where everybody
congregation.
comes to your church.
And they're all talking about how they're gonna go do big things. I'd be like, nah, dude, it's a wonderful life. Stay here. Don't go out there.
You're basically a Christian mayor.
No, dude.
The whole town just goes.
I'd be
Yep.
Mr. Potter. I go. Clarence told me if you want your wings, you're gonna want to stay here for the rest of your life.
Hand him a plate of chicken wings. iCarly did a spoof on that one time.
That's good.
Yeah, where I don't remember what the angel was coming to like intercede about, but he was trying to get his wings.
Yeah.
And there's like I guess like what would be an old Zoom call or a FaceTime on the computer at the end, and
Yeah.
she sees him and she's like, "You got your wings," and he's just going to town on a plate of
That's
chicken
awesome.
wings.
I love that. That's really funny.
I love it.
So why do you? We talked about it, but why is this one of your favorite movies?
I like I kind of said earlier, one of the ways the Lord is most real to me is by my friends. And I'm a big family guy too. I love my family. Always had pretty great relationships with most of my family. So I'm thankful for that. So that being said, I've always gravitated towards friendships,
Mm.
and I'm super thankful for that. It's not lost on me how blessed I am with such good friends. Um, but because of that, when a lot of that was becoming real to me, like I said, my junior year of college, because that was seriously the biggest life change moment of my life. Like honestly, the Lord transformed my heart more than when He saved me in the first place.
Mhm.
Like 6 years prior to that, something like that, 6 or 7 years before that. And so the end of this movie, when it's spoilers, but it's also 80 years old, so that's on you if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Um, at the end of this movie, when things are hard, because we get in those we have those days, we have those weeks,
Yeah.
where it's like everything is piling on, and maybe you made a mistake. Like I've never lost enough money to bankrupt my company,
Yeah, right.
but stuff like that does happen, whatever your version of that is, and he is then surrounded by all of his friends and loved ones, and it is ultimately the whole town, because situationally that's how it plays out. Um, but the outpouring of love and support, because I see a bit of myself there, where it's like, and well, just to be candid, like my mom passing away 3 months ago,
Yeah.
her funeral, like the amount of people who came forth
Yeah.
to support, I mean, we had to pay for the whole funeral out of pocket. We didn't have any life insurance. The way people stepped up and helped cover that was incredible. I was like, it's straight up feels like It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
And it's like reminding me, like, well, I don't love people for that. I
Right.
don't care for my friends so that someday they do that.
Yeah, you don't
That's
even
not-
think. You're not even thinking on that
Exactly.
prism. Yeah.
Never ever crossed my mind that folks would ever rally around you like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But you rally around people like that.
Right.
And you rally others to gather around people like that.
Yeah, that's what you do.
And so it's selfish and stupid to assume that would never happen for you. It's like,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, it's like, what a one-sided friendship that would be.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
and that's not how friendships work.
You gotta learn. You gotta learn. You are the person being helped in this situation.
Yes,
That is your role.
Talk about humility.
Exactly.
Is either being willing to ask or accept the help that is being offered.
For sure.
And so, like, just the first time I got to watch this movie through that lens, my junior year of college, I was like I crave that.
Yeah.
Like, God talks to me through that kind of stuff.
Right.
Just the way I love people and people love me. And I want that for people.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know not everyone is the same. Not everyone feels God the same and even feels so deeply about friendships. Some people are incredibly family oriented.
Yeah.
Some people are best solo. Not that everyone should be 100% solo, but some people are just better independents than others. But like, that level of friendship is possible for people.
Right.
And like, I want that for people real
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. Do you know your headphones are on backwards?
No,
I'm sorry.
you're fine. I always leave one off. So.
That was great, dude.
So anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Are they?
Wait, Ryan, have you ever been to the real Bedford Falls? It's
No.
in.
Is it in Joyzy?
No, it's in Seneca. I think it's in Seneca Falls. Oh.
Is it just Seneca
Yeah,
Falls?
it's in Seneca Falls, New York. You never.
Wait, hold on, let me look.
There's a whole section. It's actually really cool looking. I mean, it's fake. It's fake. The storefronts and stuff are fake, but it's kind of cool.
But it's
like kind of like
the set?
I don't know that it's the set. I think they probably. I don't know. That's a great. Something I probably should have looked up before. They have a festival.
I've only been out that way in New York one time.
Okay. I
And
figured
I
you were probably
went-
the closest.
Yeah, a little bit closer than
I mean, I wasn't far because I was in Rochester when I went out that way.
All right. There's a short documentary on it. That's cool.
All right.
I also like my favorite parts were whenever they're helping folks move out west, right, with the Italian families and stuff.
Dude, that was awesome.
Yeah,
Oh, I love that.
I don't know, for some
Literally
reason.
created a like a neighborhood just outside of town.
Yeah,
So cool.
yeah, it felt very. Which one is it? The Grapes of Wrath, or is it
Yeah, Grapes of Wrath. Yeah,
or East of Eden? Whichever one.
I think
It
both.
felt very
Yeah.
Steinbeck. Yeah,
Yeah, it does feel.
Yeah.
It does feel Steinbeck. You're right.
it's very cool.
Just for a 5-minute scene.
Yeah.
Till Sam shows up and goes, "Hee haw."
Yeah.
I love that part too. Where look, it's Sam. I don't care. Our friends are moving into their new home.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's really cool.
That was sweet. And then at the end, or towards the end, where he gets punched in the bar, and the Italian guy's like, "Did you just hit my best friend? What are you doing?" It's like, Martini is his name.
Yeah.
Martini's like, "You just hit my best friend. Get out of here." Yeah, it's stuff like that. I love that. Like,
It deals it definitely for a movie that is 75 years old, or 75, 80 years old. It does it's there's a lot going on there.
It is.
It is almost like a story of America type of movie.
And it's in those moments where, I mean, talking about humility, and pride actually. I get, I have to remind myself, like, gosh, no, people were creative and brilliant back then, and even long,
and they were also self-aware.
Yeah,
they knew what they were making.
Oh, absolutely, and you can see that in a lot of the comedy in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, movie's funny.
Yeah,
it makes me laugh all the time. I love the scene where Uncle Billy is like, "Where's my hat?" and he grabs it off of his head to present it to him. There it is, and then he falls into trash cans. And like I told you guys, apparently that actually happened. He just actually tripped and ran into trash cans.
Yeah.
So, but also I wouldn't be surprised if back then he actually did get drunk for that scene.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So, a lot of stuff like that. It's pretty neat.
Enjoy it.
We have anything else to add?
What would a I'm trying to think. What would be like a modernized take on it?
Which, like same plot, just like what would
yeah. Or would be like some different, like, what is the?
I bet it would be a tech company.
Okay. Is it Silicon Valley? And he's like, I'm trying to move.
Maybe.
We're trying to move to Nashville, Tennessee. I want to move to Tennessee someday.
Dude, honestly, I want to pursue music, but like he inherits his dad's computer business or something.
Okay. Yeah.
That would absolutely happen.
Okay, and Mr. Potter is like,
he wants to be a creative. Mr. Potter is
like Steve Jobs. His frozen head or something.
Yeah.
It's Walt Disney, but like a Steve Jobs type. And the problem is that almost every movie now elevates something to the nth degree, to where it's like it takes over the world. And so it's like with this tech company, it's like, oh, you're going to take over the world. It's like, well, that's not what Potter was doing.
That's true.
So what would be there? Like, I'm going to take over the power grid here in town.
Sure. Or it's like, it would be
like very specific to that town's like internet.
It would have to be a small town.
Phineas and Ferb.
What?
Like Phineas and Ferb. Explain.
Different spurts. And Phineas, I don't know. They're always building things. And Mom doesn't know.
I'm about it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's not quite 1-to-1, but
no, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
2 more seasons of that are coming. So get excited.
It's like, wait, what?
They're making 2 more seasons of Phineas and Ferb.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about this.
Oh, really? Absolutely.
I think
it better be as good as the first one.
I mean, still popping, Meyer.
Instead of suicide, it's you get canceled. And I don't. Sorry, I should have prefaced. I was going to preface this.
He says, "I want to get canceled."
I forgot about the part where I was going to say, so it's not as intense. Not because I think suicide is the same thing as getting canceled. That's not what I'm trying to say. Woof.
So you're saying he is getting canceled,
or he's going to cancel himself. He's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm off the internet forever.
Oh, he's going to straight up
leave social media.
But he can't because
that's an interesting thought.
Because he inspires millions.
I think that there's a thing there. It's a wonderful like digital life.
It's a wonderful online presence.
I definitely think there's a movie.
There's something there.
It's like very self-aware of because we've talked about this, like the how the internet personality, like this is the real me. Like this profile I have is more true to who I am than my actual presence.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of tension there. People just aren't aware of it, that there is tension there.
Certainly.
And so I think that's a really interesting concept to make a movie about. Specifically, kind of like It's a Wonderful Life, where they're not dumb. Like they're self-aware of the themes that they're presenting to you. It's like it's underlying theme, but it's there. I think we could do it.
Yeah, I think so. That's pretty fun. But it's funny to think I think the biggest challenge would be justifying why their online presence is so important.
Well, because it's everybody's living through it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like,
because it's like that. It's like,
why is that important? For them specifically as an individual, because we're not talking about like everyone's living through Instagram, so we're talking about Instagram.
That's how you know each other. That's where the community's
example.
at.
Okay.
What's that?
Elon Musk buying Twitter against everybody else.
Okay. Yeah.
That's way too big scale, though.
That is true.
But that's neat. That's neat. Like the online community that this person has crafted.
That's where
and
it's
like
at.
the way they help each of them, and so instead of it being we see this small town community fall apart,
social media, social network.
We go across the world and watch all these like lives like disintegrate without this person.
Right.
Like someone who this person who's talked people off of suicide themselves.
Yeah.
But online, because that does happen.
Like ways that it's done well.
Yes.
Like he's like, this is when it's done right.
Yeah. Like
and then there's the other side of it where
someone who's like a philanthropist online.
Yeah. And then the plot can be this guy, this businessman who wants to go worldwide.
Yeah.
Like he just wants to ramp it all up and put it in everybody's faces. And then the main character is like, no, you don't understand. Like it's a good tool.
Yeah.
And be used correctly. Like we keep it small scale.
Dude.
And very particular, because it's like the larger you get, like obviously those numbers aren't just a number. There's people behind it, but the larger you get, the more you get lost in it. It's like the larger you get, the more lonely you feel. It's like more people in the room makes you feel lonelier, which is weird. But
that's good, dude. You know who would 100% make this movie if you pitched it to him? Hallmark. It's a wonderful smartphone.
I thought you were gonna say Andy Sorkin, but yes, Hallmark.
Andy Sorkin.
Yeah,
dude, I'm about it. We just wrote a whole plot.
Yeah, we did.
All right, you ready to rank?
Yes.
All right. You first, me?
Nah, you go first. You always go first.
That's true. One day it might switch up though. Ladies and gentlemen, this is we have
Aaron Sorkins. I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
I'm an idiot. I'm so stupid.
I don't think we're too upset about it. So, if you recall, the way I rank these films from our IMDb list is I started at 100 and I am moving upward towards 1, inserting films somewhere along the way. So, at number 80, which is top of the list right now, it's my number 1, is Return of the King. At 81, which is number 2 on my list, is It's a Wonderful Life. It is my number 2 movie we have watched so far.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
This movie is, I think, incredible, and it's also very important to me individually. So, double whammy, but it's still not as good as Return of the King.
I meant to bring this up. To different eras, but similar vibes. Do you feel like this is similar to Life is Beautiful? Obviously, Life is Beautiful.
Sure.
I think Life is Beautiful is the opposite, but it's the same.
Yeah, but it's that's true. It's
like he's in a concentration camp, very different, and he's trying to fight for his life. Yeah,
especially for his son.
Yeah, he's like, despite the circumstances, I'm gonna keep doing this. Whereas like George Bailey's like, dude, I'm just trying to figure this out. Yeah. It's not getting any better.
Yep. That movie did make me smile quite a bit.
Okay, yeah, I thought it reminded me of some of those moments. Remind me of Life. This is Life is Beautiful.
The name is essentially the same exact.
Yeah,
it's the same name.
It's just Italian. So I put. I'm trying to think. Number 32 is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. 45, The Green Mile. 50 is Three Idiots. But at 49, I put It's a Wonderful Life.
There you go.
It is in the upper class.
The top half.
Yep.
There we go.
That's right. And I feel like that's
Which
good.
one was 50?
Three Idiots.
Dude, that's so good.
Such a good
I
one.
love Three Idiots.
It's had more impact on our podcast than any other one, technically. Because we got a little jingle out of it.
That's true.
We didn't, well, you got
when
it.
did you want?
All right.
Rank these films.
We're a little bit late.
That's fine.
We'll do it after. Rank
these
films. All right.
Rank these films.
What does he say? What is it? I've already forgot what the original.
God's not.
I don't know what. What is
get a bunch
It is well.
It is
well. It is well.
Yes.
We should get a choir to sing that.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
we'll just
Ryan, you didn't watch this one, did you?
Which one?
Three
Yeah,
Idiots?
you watched Three Idiots. Yeah.
No, I did.
Oh,
I don't think he did.
Oh,
I didn't watch that one, and I didn't watch The Pianist.
we would definitely get copyright struck. I don't think we could do it.
Okay.
Yeah, we could.
I think
dude,
the Bollywood people would not like that.
dude, it's so good.
But I don't know. I don't know anything about Bollywood.
Apparently
What year did the movie come out?
98 or so.
Yeah.
And
3
it's
Idiots?
still
Wait.
copyrighted.
I actually don't know.
That was 2009.
3 Idiots
Oh.
was 09.
Definitely still copyrighted.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because if it was one for a lifetime frame, then it's probably in
Right.
public domain by now.
That's true.
Oh, that's true. No, but man, 3 Idiots is fun. But we don't need to talk about that. We should actually stop talking because we did it.
I also want to point out we've got some studio decor.
Woo!
We have Avengers Endgame. Yeah, we looked over. We really thought through what is the movie that most encapsulates this podcast, and let's put it up on the wall. And so we thought, when you think Three Dudes in a Movie, we want you to think Avengers Endgame because that's who we are, and that's what's going to get the most clicks. But so it looks really cool, and it's overlooking. We're all looking to the left, some to the right, but everyone's in front of Ryan, and I feel like that's appropriate.
I'm about it.
Ryan's shoulder here.
There are I get it.
Who's floating in space up there? Above Thor's head?
Above Thor is Iron
Up
Man.
here?
Yeah, I thought
That's
so.
that's their ship.
Oh, that's the ship. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
That's,
it's the person. You see Thanos,
Yeah,
right?
it's one of the Ravager ships.
Can
Yeah.
you see
That's
Thanos?
Thanos
Okay.
over here.
So that means, no, Rocket's right there. So this is the poster for everyone who didn't get snapped.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
didn't even think about that.
because I was wondering why a couple of these folks were on here,
Yeah.
but
yeah,
they didn't get snapped.
that's true.
So, what's
Well.
Ant-Man doing?
Where's he at?
He's up here.
He's just looking
Is he
deep.
holding whatever that thing is above War Machine or?
No, that's some War Machine.
That's
suit.
War Machine's
Oh,
shoulder.
okay, so
Yeah.
Ant-Man's just standing there.
He's just chilling.
But so is Mark Ruffalo. All right. Also, that's the wrong hairdo for Brie Larson. I prefer that hairdo, but that's not the
Yeah,
hairdo.
They
she
should
has
have
in the
kept
movie.
that hairdo.
I know.
Oh, absolutely. Anyway,
Really went too hard on the Carol.
hey, it's a wonderful life.
All right, let's wrap it up. Love you guys. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week.
And just remember,
It's a wonderful life.
no man is a failure who has friends.
All right.
Clarence Oddbody. Thanks for listening to the Three Dudes in a Movie podcast. We appreciate you. Feel free to follow us on Instagram, and be sure to give us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. Have a great day, and remember, movies are good. All right, bye.